Still on time. There you go. There you go. Relax. See everything coming.
Boy, a heavyweight boy, and Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Davis isn't holding back. He's been trading power shots with men much bigger than himself in the ring. One particular session got so intense that the heavyweight was reportedly left shaken after Davis landed a thunderous punch.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight
Boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Gervonta Davis has been turning heads once again, this time by powering through heavyweight boxers during intense sparring sessions. Known for his explosive strength in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions, Tank is proving that size doesn't limit his force. In recent footage, he's seen landing sharp combinations with precision and speed that leave even larger fighters on edge. The way he controls the rhythm, slips counters, and fires back with flurries shows how seriously he's preparing. Every move reflects that he's fine-tuning not just his power, but also the endurance needed to handle bigger, stronger opponents, something that will be crucial in his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick. Fall in between them, Kev. Punch when he punch, Kev. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're going to commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't got to get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Kev. All the way down the road.
Despite the clear size difference between Davis and many of his sparring partners, Tank continues to test himself against boxers who outweigh him by a wide margin. These sessions aren't about overpowering anyone, they're about precision. He's mastering how to manage distance, control the pace, and keep his trademark explosiveness alive even under pressure from much heavier fighters. His team explained that this training helps him sharpen his angles and timing, both crucial for countering Jake Paul's unorthodox boxing style. Davis understands that Jake's biggest advantage is size, so by sparring with heavyweights, he's eliminating that fear early. It's a strategy built on discipline and confidence, ensuring he's ready for every possible situation once the bell rings.
Of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission would sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone.
Former UFC star and fight analyst Chael Sonnen has made it clear that Gervonta Davis carries the weight of boxing's credibility on his shoulders in this matchup. Sonnen stated that no matter what Jake Paul has done to attract attention to the sport, it's now on Tank to remind fans what real boxing looks like. For Sonnen, this isn't just a fight, it's a statement. Davis' goal is to prove that technical skill, timing, and years of ring experience still matter more than social media hype. Sonnen confidently said that Tank's mission is to silence the circus surrounding Jake's career by letting his fists do the talking. A knockout wouldn't just be a win, it would be a message to everyone who's forgotten what elite boxing truly is.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless. Like, these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week approaches, footage and reports confirm that Gervonta Davis has been sparring actively with heavyweight fighters in his camp. These sessions are far from light workouts, they're full-force simulations designed to push Tank beyond his comfort zone. His trainers explain that the goal is to make the actual fight feel easier by facing tougher resistance in training. The heavyweights force him to refine his defensive reflexes, improve his head movement, and learn to generate power efficiently against much larger opponents. Each round boosts his confidence, proving that even against stronger men, Davis's timing and precision make the difference. It's an unconventional but highly effective strategy, one that shows just how seriously he's taking Jake Paul as a legitimate threat.
Lucas, kill! Lucas, kill! Pick it up, look at that stick, short stick. Go! There you go. There you go, relax, see everything come. See everything's come.
Renowned boxing trainer Teddy Atlas has shared his thoughts, praising Gervonta Davis as one of the most powerful and technically skilled fighters in the sport today. Atlas explained that while some fans point to Jake Paul's size advantage, it won't matter once the fight starts. He believes Davis's experience against top-tier opponents gives him an edge Jake simply can't match. Atlas emphasized that Tank has faced every style imaginable: counterpunchers, pressure fighters, taller opponents, and defensive technicians. Meanwhile, Jake's resume lacks true boxing veterans. According to Atlas, those who ask, "What if Jake lands one big shot?" are missing the real point. He said Davis's ability to adapt under pressure is what separates him from entertainers who step into the ring for show rather than mastery.
Yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch. And he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that, it's safer to do that. You don't have to bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that, but I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right, anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just...
Sports analyst Max Kellerman offered a more personal perspective on Tank's motivation, suggesting that Gervonta Davis accepted the Jake Paul fight partly to secure financial stability and spend more time with his family. After years of grueling training camps and title defenses, Tank reportedly wanted a matchup that offered both excitement and a payday large enough to give him some breathing room. Kellerman noted that Davis has been thinking about slowing down his career pace, focusing more on family life and mental balance. In Kellerman's view, the Jake Paul fight isn't just business, it's a transition. A high-profile spectacle like this allows Davis to enjoy the fruits of his success while reminding the world that he remains one of boxing's most dangerous fighters whenever the gloves come on.
A guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised with that fight.
During the press tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora highlighted the stark contrast between the two fighters' personalities. As usual, Jake Paul played the promoter, talking loudly, building hype, and using his charisma to draw attention. Davis, in contrast, remained quiet, composed, and seemingly uninterested in the verbal back and forth. Mannix pointed out that while Jake knows how to sell a fight, Davis knows how to win one. Mora added that Tank's silence isn't a weakness, it's proof of his focus. Both analysts agreed that when the lights dim and the talking stops, Tank's pure skill and raw power will speak louder than words ever could.
Gold Gervonta Davis on. He's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight. And Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing. He had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train. And we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida.
Former world champion Tim Bradley shared some inside information, revealing that Gervonta Davis had limited options before accepting the Jake Paul fight. He explained that Tank initially aimed for a rematch with Lamont Roach, but negotiations fell through. With few major opponents available and growing pressure from promoters, the Jake Paul deal became the most practical option. Bradley noted that while some may see it as a risky business move, it also offers Tank massive exposure and a significant financial reward. He emphasized that fans often overlook the unseen factors behind such decisions. Management, timing, and broadcast politics all play key roles. According to Bradley, no matter how the fight materialized, Davis will make the most of it and remind everyone why he's a world-class boxer.
I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. You know, he was in training for that Lamont Roach fight, and You know, then the covers got pulled off, you know, and then this fight came about. You know, this is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. You know, this is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, you know, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, you know. As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. You know, money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, you know, for everything, you know, for everything. So, you know, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. Again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You could just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is.
After the press conference, some fans began questioning whether Gervonta Davis was fully invested in the Jake Paul fight. Observers noted his quiet demeanor, distant look, and lack of reaction to Jake's provocations. While some viewed it as intense focus, others took it as disinterest. The visible size difference between the two fighters also sparked debates about fairness and competitiveness. Many expected Tank to be more vocal, but instead, he appeared calm and detached, perhaps conserving his energy for fight night. Still, those close to Davis insist that his silence shouldn't be mistaken for apathy. It's part of his mental preparation. He's simply choosing not to waste energy on theatrics that don't win fights.
Hey, Davis in that press conference, and I really don't know how to feel about that. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how boxing even allowed this to be made. Like, I don't. Like, dog, this is not an overstatement. Like, literally one of the core pillars holding up boxing is like this literal, like, fake superiority complex that they have over literally every other combat sport. Despite literally being the least effective main combat sport there is. Brother, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, brother, I put judo over I put boxing. In terms of practicality of combat, oh yeah, 100%. Brother, if Jake Paul makes it competitive against Gervonta Davis, I'm looking at this like, brother. Oh, well, weight difference, brother. Gervonta Davis has been training his entire life. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad enough that the fact that if this was under any other combat sport, this would literally be like one of the most one-sided matchups of all time. And it wouldn't be in favor of Davis. No, dog, if you did this under an MMA rule set, oh my gosh, bro, Paul cooks Gervonta. It's not close at all. Like round one finish level. Like, understand this, Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is taking place in literally the only combat sport where Davis should win. I'm still shocked that they allowed it to be made. Because, like, there's no upside. If Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis, now we're kind of looking like, wait a minute. What? Like, brother, don't forget. I still think it's a horrible look that Tyson Fury couldn't finish Francis Ngannou. That is so bad. Well, Francis Ngannou's a great boxer. Francis Ngannou, no joke, is one of the worst boxers to ever be in the UFC. He just has absurd power. No, look at the technique of Francis Ngannou. It's not that good. It's carried by power. Like, going into it, like, I'm hyped, but it's also, I'm looking at this like, bro, Gervonta has to fit.
While Jake Paul has often been accused of exploiting boxing's traditions, some critics have now shifted their focus toward Gervonta Davis. They argue that by agreeing to fight Jake, Tank might be legitimizing the influencer boxing trend he once spoke out against. Fans who wanted him to face top-ranked contenders feel disappointed, believing this matchup leans more toward entertainment than legacy. Yet others defend his choice, noting that boxing has always mixed sport with spectacle. For Davis, it's about taking control of that narrative, proving that even in this crossover era, skill and authenticity still matter. If he dominates Jake Paul, it could turn the criticism back on his doubters and restore the balance between showmanship and true boxing craftsmanship.
Problem with boxing, Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent, and if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight.